What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to our exciting episode of Tech Protection. Today, Bankrupt joined again by both Nick and Steve. As today we do a Jiren taking on Universe 7 Set 23 Goku. Like always, buttons feel free to click them. They're there for a reason. But yeah, let's get into this matchup, guys. What is going on?
Nothing much. I think this was the last game of the night, so look a lot of good stuff going on. It's pretty thematic too, actually. Now that I look at it, U7
It is
versus U6 is not bad, or not U6, but U11. That's all.
7
Yeah, sure.
words.
Yeah, and the both these decks. I mean, we've pretty much seen them a lot recently. U7 has made a ton of waves, being pretty much the go-to yellow deck now. Just the way it operates, the draw power, the filtering, the removal, the uninteractability of it. Like it's good. Good deck is good. And then now with Jiren getting the updates it's gotten, it's starting to make its own impact on the meta too. Steve, how do you like the changes and updates to it?
I like it. Of course, the Topo Unison's -7 effect, it definitely needed some help. I'm not sure if Topo was exactly what the game needed, or not Topo, Dispo was exactly what the game needed. Getting an extra 2 markers once per turn on that Topo Unison, I think it definitely, if anything, strikes a little bit of fear in your opponent. It's just something else they have to worry about. I think it makes your opponent think, like, every time they swing, should I swing at a 1-drop? Should I swing at the Dispo? Should I try to get markers off the Topo? Or should I just go straight after the leader and take life away? Honestly, I don't have an answer for you when it comes to that question. Um, it's just a beast of a deck.
I will say, I feel like this is one of those matchups where in Nick's favor, it's like, yeah, I'll also get the 1-drop for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind having little dinky guys in rest mode just because that's kind of how I win, right? That's how the boss monster wants to operate. And it's, yeah, I'll let you play as much as you want to in rest mode, and I'll even help you get there too. So that's one of the big pluses in this matchup, at least on my side. But the Jiren also has the tools during the battle step to hit on swing cards, and it also has the new Floodgate Explosive Dance with it too. Granted, I'm gonna have a Z energy like crazy, so it doesn't do too much, but at the right moment, it could be pretty devastating to me.
The six drop Goku is 30k, right?
It is.
Yeah, so in order to restand that card, you have to already pitch 3 cards on top of possibly pitching 30k power of cards. Could do something, but I do agree with you. Like, you Z charge like no other deck.
Yeah, just because you kind of have to with the permanent, but granted, I mean, that's how you play all your stuff. A lot of your effects require pitching Z energy, doing stuff from the Z energy, so it's not too big of a thing. And then some of the cards themselves that you want to throw in this energy are 15, 20k, so it's not the end of the world. But again, like I said, you hit the floodgate in the right moment, it could really be devastating, especially on like a kill turn or something like that. Now here, U7 doesn't put too much of a board up, if we're being honest. It can play stuff with barrier, and you play cards from the Xenogy like the Super Saiyan God Goku, which is really good for just onboard removal. But again, it doesn't really go too wide. It just likes to go really tall and make its stuff matter, essentially. So it never really felt too much on the back foot as far as board presence go, mostly because it's yellow, so I'm going to be defensive no matter what. So it doesn't matter too much to me what my board looks like, and especially in a deck like this, you don't have to lean too much into going wide. Now, Steve, have you had much experience playing against this deck at all?
I think I've played U with it. I believe I was playing a U7 Gohan. That was a blur, that game, so no, I don't really have a whole lot of experience, especially with Jiren against U7. As you can see, I have a Kunchi on board. That's one of two of my side deck cards because I just had no clue what to side deck against you.
Yeah,
So
and this deck inherently doesn't have too much barrier removal. I mean, the 6-drop itself can do that, but it mostly, that's pretty much the only thing that really does ignore barrier. But, and as you see in my charged energy, I do have the SSB Vegeta, which that doesn't ignore barrier, but it does tap cards. So it's just another really good piece to hit pressure points. So in the case of Jiren, he goes super wide, super quick, as you can clearly see. He's pretty much had a board of 4+ cards at all times. So having that extra power during the combo step and battle step to just tap stuff down, and also in conjunction with floodgates like Nimbus, it's going wide doesn't feel too bad defensively in this type of deck. And as you see right now, I have Omen of Awakening. I don't have the 6-drop out on board, but even still, it gives my leader a plus 5k boost till the end of the opponent's turn. So having it, just using it as a 1 energy beam, not bad at all. And then it can stick on the board until you're ready to go into the 6-drop to give him that extra boost to either push for game or clear the board or what have you. Now, what are you looking for right now, Steve? What are you trying to do?
usually when I'm going through my top 5 searcher 1-drop Jirens here, I'm looking for any type of evolved target, a 4-drop, 5-drop, anything like that. Which I think in this build I'm actually not running any 5-drops. But I think I'm running one, but I didn't see it all night. But yeah, I have to be looking for evolved targets if I've just got a handful of 1-drops to play.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, the first 2 turns were sort of the same way. I know I played a couple of evolved Jirens, but honestly, my hand, besides having the unison in hand turn 1, the hand was not a very good starting hand. I think I had Kunchi in my hand starting off. I mean, it just, but yeah, this just shows you how a bad starting hand with Jiren can still turn into some type of positive board presence.
It's one of those things where like every 1-drop you're playing in this situation is also pulling other cards out of your deck, which gives you higher chances of drawing the cards you want to see as well. Which we're also seeing kind of like how Nick mentioned earlier, like once per turn, like doesn't matter whose turn it is, Nick's drawing a card just because he's comboing cards off.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about this deck. It essentially you run 4 of the entire archetype, which is something we haven't seen too much in this game. At least of late, there's a lot of archetypes now in this set specifically that do want to run its archetype 4 of each and then just be done with it. But that's just because it's the filtering you get on this is just ridiculous. It's a crazy amount. Now, here we play the Goku blocker, the Ultra Instinct. Now, we're here discussing that the Ultra Instinct card has barrier, and since Yamcha is being played on counter, the Goku is going to hit the board before the Yamcha does, so the barrier will stick, and the only thing he'd be able to hit would be the Super Saiyan God Goku. Now, seeing as I wasn't really able to get into the 6-drops that much, so we go into the burn strategy, which I honestly really like this, mostly because it's uninteractable. And granted, it's only technically burning 1 damage, but it is hitting the opponent's hand, and it's also hitting the life. So it's does a lot, and especially here when I'm drawing a card just for doing that too. So I like to do this honestly as much as possible just to get the free burn damage off and then forcing the opponent to deal with this card in rest mode. Granted, they can just swing into it and stuff, but it also acts like a huge lightning rod because if they don't deal with it as soon as possible, we're going to just be able to end again and again.
Yeah, that's a good hit. And like I said, you need that ZX card to get that truly established because like it on its own just cycles a life. It doesn't actually hit a card. Granted, it's kind of like minor hand control if you want to think about it that way. but at the same time, with that card, makes it so much more efficient.
Right. And you can even do it in conjunction with the 6-drop Goku as well, just because you're still burning a life when you're doing that. So it does have a huge purpose. Both of the Z extra cards do, which it's good and it's bad again because we talked about it before. Uninteractability is not the funnest thing in the world. I've played a lot of decks where you have that where your opponent just can't do anything against what you're doing, which sucks. But in the grand scheme of the things, it's good. So you want to play the stuff that's really good. And in this case, the only thing they'd be able to do to stop it would be to counterplay the Goku coming in. But at the end of the day, it's necessary to hit. But yeah, it sucks.
And I would say it's one of those things where the card that Steve in this situation put in his life, he doesn't want. And so you were able to get rid of two potentially good cards. And because when he took the damage, he didn't take that one he put down. He took a different card instead. So it kind of lets you know, like, that's a garbage card. He's trying to look for something he doesn't have yet.
Yeah. And here, and even at this point, he's at 2 life. I'm at 6 life, so I don't really care what kind of pressure he's putting on at this point. I can take a couple hits, and just having that big double strike again, it was not really too much of a thing to me. And plus, it also turns my super combos on as well. So most people are running the Backbone U7 Goku. I don't want that card, so I'm running Krillin, but they do the same thing, right? But it's just an extra life ahead. So the Krillin still works in this case, and I want to get down to that 4 life, so it's no big deal to me taking hits like that, especially when I'm at such a high life total. And usually U7 keeps such a healthy hand size as well, where it doesn't matter how much you have to out combo. You're going to have a hand of 10 plus cards regardless. So that, and with a deck like this too, the way you're drawing through your stuff so much, you're going to see your whole deck no matter what. So you get a lot of opportunities just to play everything in your disposal, which again is another reason why I like this deck so much. Is there's a lot of decks you play that you can only see like a third of their deck or half of it. Most games I'm going to almost deck myself out. So so being able to see pretty much everything you need to see at some point in the game is a really good plus for this.
You can see me using that 1-drop effect from the drop to bottom deck it, discard a card, and search for a Jiren target or an evolve target. I can't have enough in my hand. I guess I need more, but I must have been running super low at this point again.
I will say, like, even though there are a bunch of like 1-drops, those are potential also combo. Like, you have potentially 25, okay, now 20k of combo power on your board for like next turn now too, which must feel kind of good. Like, I'm not sure what your hand size is at in this current game state, but as long as he can't tap those cards down, okay, never mind.
Yeah, you got my energy.
Well,
So with that being said,
not just
and
that, he's
combo
in tap
power,
like 3 cards now.
yeah.
Well,
my dispo does combo one drop from underneath of a Jiren on field, so that helps another 5k.
Oh,
so here we have in my mind. Oh, I'll play the SS3 Goku. I know what you're talking about, but here in my mindset, I'm worried about one thing, and that's what's it called? Difference of status. Just because his unison has 8 markers on it, so it'd be able to hit anything and pretty much neg it all the way to 0. So in reality, what I should have done was swung at the Jiren battle card, the one in rest mode, the 4K. But instead, I decided to go for lead because I am still a triple strike. So this could theoretically end the game. Now, I do decide just to end it here because I'm tapped out at this point. Now, with the pan on the board, it's pretty much turn after this swing. So we have to pretty much just go for it. So we combo as much as we can and see what we can do. But in reality, we should have swung at the battle card because that's essentially 5 more cards combo there.
Yeah, just combo everything. Now, I don't know what you're sitting at, but I think you may have added an extra card to your hand, to your combo by accident. Because you evolved that one Jiren. I don't know where if you took the one underneath from out of it or not.
So yeah, the dispo has another effect
That's right.
once per
That's right.
turn.
Yeah, you could. It's a yeah. That's right. Forgot about that part.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. You can combo one from underneath it to get an extra 5K combo. So that helps out in situations like this once per turn.
And Nick only can now attack with his leader.
Right. So do the effect here. I don't swing with that 6-drop Goku. I do the effect to tap a card to draw. So again, it's just something I just need to get my hand back up. But at this point, I'm tapped out and sitting on 2 life. Pretty much anything is lethal at this point. The miss was huge.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you also couldn't expect him to top deck Pan either. I think that's what Steve
Yeah,
said
I mean, you
happened.
can't play around stuff like that. Honestly, I was more worried about difference of status. I wasn't expecting Pan. So that's why I was swinging at lead first. And whew, doggy man.
Hit that table a little bit
But
too
yeah,
much.
we were we were expecting something else. But yeah, the pain was big. Secret rares are good.
So here you're just getting the hits in to kind of like dwindle the hand of what you can. And truth be told, all these attacks aren't gonna really take Nick out, but once Nick takes 1 damage with Steve being have not spent any energy yet, it definitely puts him in a tight situation.
Right. And here we just straight negate. I mean, granted, it's at this point now where I pretty much can't do much.
Mhm.
My hand's getting low. Don't have too much energy, or I have no energy. So it's do what we can to survive.
You're going through your Z deck right now. I
Yeah,
mean,
when I do that, I don't have a very big hand.
you still have the leader. You still have the time sync Kamehameha on board. Like you still have a potential like explosive attack coming towards like at some point. Just the question is when.
Yeah, so I put the Defender of Life out just because I know he has barrier or he gains barrier. I'm not sure what Nick has in his hand, even though he's tapped out. You never know. I wanted something with some protection to swing.
Yeah. And at this point, again, we have no other options, so we just have to take it.
And with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below, links in the description. Please check them out. And like always, bye.